But what can you tell me about Hispanics then in the United States? What do you think about, okay, are there a lot of Hispanics in the United States, and why do you think we chose to discuss Mexicans for Hispanic Heritage Month? Sierra?
Because we see a lot of them.
Well, we see a lot of them, and can anybody think of any other reason? Yes?
Because there's a lot of them in the U.S.
Right, you're right. Hispanics have the largest, Mexicans are the largest population of Hispanics in the United States. How many of you remember that? Okay, good. Another thing we talked about Mexicans in general after we decided to focus on that. And can somebody tell me what a Mexican is? What did we decide that a Mexican, what did we say a Mexican is? Does anybody remember? Okay, we said Mexicans, we talked about Hispanics, we know they're Hispanics, and then specifically we talked about Mexicans. And so who can tell me what a Mexican is? Does anybody remember from a long time ago? Okay, I'll try to ring some bells here, okay? Carrie.
The children of Spanish explorers who married Indian women.
Right, very good. Those were the Spanish explorers that married the Indian women. And that's how we got the what? Mexican children, right? Did everybody remember that?
Yeah.
Okay, well then if you didn't remember, now you remember it. Okay, let's go on about Hispanic Heritage Month. What do you think is probably one of the most interesting things that you've studied for Hispanic Heritage Month? Can anybody, let's share that with you. Share a little bit with each other. I saw your hand out.
Cesar Chavez.
Cesar Chavez? Okay, what did you think was most interesting about him?
That he was a brave person that would stand up for rights for other people.
Okay, he said that Cesar Chavez was a brave person that stood up for rights, and I see hands all over the place now. Let's go down to Sierra and we'll come right along.
And he was a leader of migrant farm workers.
He was a leader of the migrant farm workers. What else Brink can tell us about him?
He was a man of his word.
He was a man of his word. And give us an example of how you know that Cesar Chavez was a man of his word.
Or when he spoke for rights and freedom.
When he spoke up for the rights and freedom of his people.
He said he was going to do that, and he did it.
Okay, so when he spoke up for the rights of his people, well then that allowed Bryn to make the interpretation that he was a man of his word, because he spoke up, he said he was going to do these things, and he did them, didn't he? And Ed, did you want to answer that?
Yeah, Cesar Chavez always wanted justice and freedom for everyone.
He wanted justice and freedom for everyone. And can somebody give us an example? What's an example? I think Sierra told us one thing that he did, justice for everyone. She said that he did what? Sierra, what was that you told us again?
That he was the leader of migrant farm workers.
He was the leader of the migrant farm workers, and what else?
Helped them go on strike so they could strike the rates on the minorities.
Right, they went on strike, and what are some of the things that they did when he decided to call for that strike? What did he want the people to do? See, the same is, what about Christina, what did he want the people to do when they went on strike?
Stop the grapes and stop doing the
Is that right, Group?
Yes.
Right, he wanted them to stop buying grapes, and what else did he want them to do? Sierra?
He wanted them to buy only union label grapes.
He wanted them to buy only union label grapes. What are some of the other things that Cesar Chavez did? Anybody? What else can you determine about his character based on his actions? What else did he do to let you know that he was a man of his word, as Brent told us? Yes?
Him and his wife bring up the NFWA.
Him and his wife did what?
Bring up the NFWA. Found the NFWA.
Right, they found what was the name of it again?
National Farm Workers Association.
The National Farm Workers Association. Very good. Kelly, can you add something to that? Can somebody give me some more supporting information that Cesar Chavez was a man of his word? What else did he do? What were some of the other things that he did? Okay, and we'll just back up a little bit then. We really started off talking about him, but we didn't say that much about his early life, did we, Sarah? Can you tell us something about Cesar Chavez's early life, his childhood life, and think about his childhood life and how you can probably compare with your own. Sarah?
He had problems in school.
He had problems in school? What kind of problems? give her a minute to think. What? He had problems with his teachers. Can anybody tell us what kinds of problems? I haven't heard from you, John.
They were mad because he spoke Spanish.
They were mad because he spoke Spanish. What else? What other problems?
They wouldn't help him learn because he was a migrant child and he kept moving from school to school.
They would not help him learn because he was a migrant child and changed schools often. Is that right, class?
Yeah.
Okay, what else?
That he was hit on the knuckles because of his culture and
Because of his culture? Is that right, girl? Was he hit on his knuckles because of his culture?
and because of the
And
way
how can you interpret that it was because of his culture? Because of what?
he spoke.
Because of his language, right? Okay, yes?
And another thing was, they told him that they tried to force him to speak the way they spoke, and he couldn't do that. And so they
Okay, so what is that? He says that they tried to force him to speak the way they spoke. How did they speak? They spoke English, right? Jessica, can you remember anything else about Cesar Chavez's early life? What else stands out in your mind? What can you interpret about Cesar Chavez, about how he turned out as to how it relates to his earlier life? Anybody think of anything else? Okay, I want you for a minute to stop and compare yourself with Cesar Chavez's early life. And then I want you can have this again. And then when you compare yourself with Cesar Chavez's early life, I want you to think of, can you relate to that? Go ahead. Can anybody else relate to what happened to Cesar Chavez, Ed?
you mean like put it on words to like.
Right, put it in your own words. You don't need any special words,
In
okay?
the schools now, they don't take you by the color of your face with a.
Can you speak a little louder? Can you people hear him in the group?
Yeah.
Okay, speak just a little louder.
They don't take they don't take children now by the way the color of the skin is and the way they talk. They take them as they are, and they don't race their color and call them anything.
Those are very good points. Ed said that now teachers don't judge students by their race or their culture or how they speak. Okay, and how did you make that interpretation?
Because when Cesar Chavez was little, they did that to him. They chose him by the color of his skin and they talked.
Right, so if you were going to compare how things are now as to how they were when he went to school, that would be a good interpretation that you would make, right? Okay, what else? Anything else? Can anybody think of anything else about Cesar Chavez? What about his, let's see, what about his family life? Can you tell me anything else? I heard a lot about his family already. Can anybody think of anything else that just jumps right up in their mind? Yes?
They were poor because his dad made a bad business deal when he was 10.
Right, Josh said they were poor because his dad made a bad business deal when he was 10 years old. Okay, and how do you... One of the problems that you mentioned to us that Cesar Chavez had in his life.
He moved around a lot. He attended 36 schools by the time he was in 8th grade.
Okay, Brent said he moved around a lot, that was a conflict because, and how can you interpret the fact that it was a conflict? How do you know?
Because he kept repeating and couldn't learn.
Because he kept repeating over and over and he just wasn't able to learn. He had trouble learning because, okay, that's a very good interpretation. Sierra?
He probably wasn't learning because he was moving him around so much he wouldn't probably have a chance to get used to one teacher at a time. Because he couldn't get used to the teachers.
Okay, so do you think that would bother you if you had to move around a lot and you had to get used to new students and new classmates and teachers over and over again? Okay, Kelly, can you add something to that? How do you think that would affect you if you had to move around a lot? Can you compare some of the similarities or contrast some of the differences of how you think you feel that happened to you? Or if you've had something similar happen in your life, could you share that with us? Right, okay, Ed, did you want to add something?
Yeah, and another way he didn't have no help was part of the teacher's problem because they would never help him.
Okay, and you think that, you said part of it was the teacher's problem because they didn't help him. How can you interpret the fact, why are you drawing the conclusion that the teacher didn't help him? Because they what?
because they didn't like the color of his skin and they didn't like the way he spoke.
And how do you interpret anything else? To go, and how do you interpret the fact that that was helping him to solve some of his problems? By graduating, how did that help? Fear?
Because he finally got out of school after all them changes.
Okay, after going through all those different conflicts and he finally did get out of school. Okay, Brent, you want to
He got a labor contractor from California come in that left to go to California. And
Okay.
get money.
All right, you said the labor contractor came in, and what problem did that solve when he got the contractor to come in? What problems did that solve?
He made more money than he did.
So that he could make more money, and what else? Can anybody add something else to that? Yes?
It probably would have been, it was better for migrant people and Mexicans.
It probably